Arsenal Daily Talk, breaking transfer special. Hello, Arsenal fans. Welcome back to Arsenal Daily Talk, the #1 destination for everything Arsenal, from breaking transfer news, tactical analysis, rising stars, and behind-the-scenes updates. And today, we are not just talking about Arsenal. We are talking about a potential future superstar, a player who is already shaking Europe, a player who top clubs are quietly watching, and a name that is slowly becoming one of the most talked about young midfielders in world football. Before we go deeper, I want you to understand something very important. Football is changing. Clubs are no longer just buying established superstars for instant impact. The modern game is built on something much more dangerous, much more strategic, and much more long-term. It is built on young talent identification. And when a player is identified early, before the world fully understands his potential, that is when football history is shaped. That is exactly why today's story matters. Because we are not talking about a finished product, we are talking about a raw, developing midfield genius. And Arsenal fans, this is where things start getting interesting. If you are an Arsenal fan watching right now, I need you to do 3 things. Smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and join the Arsenal Daily Talk community right now. Because trust me, what we are covering today is not just a rumour. It is part of a much bigger story that could define Arsenal's future midfield structure for years to come. The name everyone is starting to watch. There is a new wave of young talent rising in Europe, and one name that keeps appearing in scouting reports is Ayyoub Bouaddi. Now let's slow this down for a second, because this is not just another academy player being hyped by social media. This is a player who is being tracked seriously in professional scouting networks across Europe. He is young, he is fearless, and most importantly, he plays with a maturity that does not match his age, and that phrase is not just hype. In football scouting terms, maturity beyond age is one of the strongest indicators of elite potential. It means decision-making speed is advanced, pressure resistance is elite. Tactical reading is developed early, technical execution remains stable under stress. That combination is extremely rare. Bouaddi is being described in France as one of the most technically intelligent young midfielders in Ligue 1. And when scouts use terms like intelligent midfielder, they are referring to something very specific. A player who understands the game faster than others. Not just physically, but mentally. That is the difference between a good player and a future world-class midfielder. Now let's break down his qualities again in detail. Calmness under pressure. He does not rush decisions even when pressed aggressively. Elite ball control in tight spaces. He can operate in congested midfield zones. Tactical awareness beyond his years. He positions himself like a senior player. Ability to dictate tempo like a seasoned professional. He can slow or accelerate the game when needed. And this is why clubs like Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United are all watching him. Because when a midfielder has control over tempo at a young age, that is the foundation of elite careers. Why Arsenal are interested now. Let's talk about Arsenal in detail. Arsenal are in a very specific phase right now. This is no longer a rebuilding team. This is not a project that is trying to survive top 4. This is a team transitioning into a title-contending machine. And when a club reaches this stage, recruitment strategy changes completely. You don't just sign players to fill gaps, you sign players to build dynasties. And that is where Bouaddi enters the conversation. At just 17 years old, he already fits the exact profile Arsenal recruitment teams have been targeting for years. Let's break this down deeper. Young, allows long-term development and tactical shaping. Technically elite, fits possession-based football structure, high ceiling potential, potential to grow into world-class level tactical discipline. Crucial for structured systems, long-term development value, financially and sporting investment. Arsenal have already proven this model works. Think about it. Bukayo Saka did not become elite overnight. Martin Odegaard was developed into a leader over time. Declan Rice became a midfield anchor through structured progression. This is not random. This is a system. And Bouaddi fits into that system perfectly. Arsenal scouts are reportedly tracking him closely in Ligue 1 matches for Lille OSC. But the important detail is this. They are not just watching highlights, they are tracking patterns. How he reacts under pressure, how he positions during transitions, how he behaves without the ball, how consistent his decision-making is over 90 minutes. That is elite-level scouting. The player profile. Now let's break this down properly and deeply. Bouaddi operates mainly as a central midfielder, but is highly versatile. And versatility in modern football is not optional. It is essential. He can drop deep to receive under pressure, acting almost like a deep-lying playmaker. Progress the ball through midfield lines, breaking opposition structure. Play quick one-touch combinations, essential in high-tempo systems. Transition defense into attack instantly, turning defensive actions into offensive opportunities. Now let's analyze his mental profile. He does not panic under press. He always looks forward first. He plays with rhythm control. He adapts to game tempo naturally. And this is where elite midfielders are separated from average ones. Most young players panic under pressure. Most young players slow down decision-making. Most young players play safe. Bouaddi does not. He plays with confidence and intent. That is why analysts across Europe are starting to monitor him seriously. Because midfielders like this are not common. They are rare, and rare players attract elite competition. Transfer rumours. Now let's move into the most exciting part, the transfer talk. Reports from France suggest that top European clubs have begun increasing their scouting presence around Lille matches. But let's be clear, this is not a transfer negotiation stage. This is a scouting war stage. And that is where elite transfers begin. Arsenal are monitoring his development closely ahead of future transfer windows. But internally, the thinking is long-term. This is not a short-term signing. This is not a first-team starter immediately. This is a long-term investment in midfield structure. He would be developed gradually into Arsenal's system. Training integration, tactical education, physical development, gradual match exposure. That is how elite clubs protect young talent. Because rushing development destroys potential. Arsenal know this better than most clubs in Europe right now. Competition. Now here comes the pressure, because Arsenal are not alone. Chelsea are interested. Manchester United are rebuilding their midfield identity, and both clubs are aggressively scouting League One. That creates a competitive environment where scouting battles increase, reports intensify, transfer rumours, spread player valuations rise. And this is where things become dangerous. Because once multiple Premier League clubs enter the race, the transfer becomes unpredictable. It is no longer about talent alone, it becomes about timing, project, and persuasion. Why League One talents matter. Now let's zoom out. Why does League One produce so many elite midfielders? Because it is a development league built for transition. Players are exposed early to physical duels, tactical systems, high-pressure matches, first-team responsibility. This is why Arsenal consistently scout League One, because players developed there are not raw forever. They are shaped early and then refined at elite clubs. Bouaddi fits this exact pathway. Strategy. If Arsenal move forward, strategy matters. 1. Early monitoring continues scouting across multiple matches. 2. Pre-contract positioning. Build relationship early with representatives. 3. Strategic timing. Wait for the right window to avoid bidding wars, because timing decides everything in modern transfers. Final thoughts. There is no confirmed deal. There is no official bid, but there is growing interest. And that is how every major football transfer begins. First comes scouting, then interest, then negotiation, then pressure, then drama, then signing. And sometimes a superstar is born. Final message. Should Arsenal go all in for Ayyoub Bouaddi, or should they focus on experienced midfield signings instead? Comment below. Go Arsenal!